Okay, now it is time to get into the beginning of your journey. So first things, we're going to learn some ways of greeting one another. All right. So the first thing, most people will know hello, hola. Um, this is obviously something that you're going to say all the time, hola. It's very interesting because oftentimes in some parts of Latin America, hola is more like after you've already greeted each other for the day, or something like that. Many times you're going to greet people based on the time of day. So you'll say buenos dias for good morning. You will say buenas tardes for good afternoon. And you'll say buenas noches for good night. Now, it is important to know that good afternoon goes a long way in Spanish. It begins at noon and it goes until late, like 8 p.m. at night. So again, let's try this again. It's buenos dias, buenas tardes, buenas noches. Oftentimes, you're only going to use buenas noches when you're going to bid someone adieu for the evening. But if you're meeting people in the evening, you can say buenas noches, it's fine. But oftentimes, if it is late evening, you might just say an hola. All right, so we have our hellos out of the way. Now you want to ask someone how they are. Then you'll want to say, ¿Cómo estás? For how are you? If you're talking to someone formally, then you're going to say, ¿Cómo está usted? You can also say their name. ¿Cómo estás, Jenny? ¿Cómo está, Señor Bravo? Notice that I used a formal because I'm saying Señor Bravo. I'm saying Mr. Bravo. I'm not calling him by his first name, therefore I'm using the formal. Notice the difference. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo está, Señor Bravo? That S falls off in the formal. You could also say ¿Qué tal? In Spain, a lot of people say ¿Qué tal? I usually greet people with ¿Qué tal?, which is the same as ¿Cómo estás? It means how are you? You could say, in Mexico, you'll hear ¿Qué onda? You will hear in Argentina, and oftentimes also with people from Mexico, you'll hear ¿Cómo anda? ¿Qué onda? Is like, what's up? And ¿Cómo anda? Is like, how's it going? You might hear ¿Qué pasa? But I usually hear ¿Qué pasa? More when someone's asking me what's up in terms of what's wrong. ¿Qué pasa? Or, well, let's recap. You said hola, buenos días, buenas tardes, buenas noches. We've said ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo está usted? ¿Qué tal? ¿Qué onda? ¿Qué pasa? ¿Cómo anda? ¿Cómo andas? You'll hear from Argentinos, people from Argentina. Those are very good ways of saying, how's it going? Now, if you want to respond, then answers might be todo bien, everything's great. You'll hear that a lot in the Caribbean, or from Caribeños, people from the Caribbean. You might hear fenomenal from people who are highly confident, and also a lot of people from Europe will say that. You might hear muy bien, I'm well, whereas fenomenal is like, I'm awesome. All right. You will hear and you will say más o menos, it's okay, everything's all right. Other things that you may use are regular. Regular, which is like, it's any other day. Nothing special, nothing great. Regular. You'll hear more often más o menos if you're having an okay day than you will regular. Regular is more like when you're like, whatever. And facial expressions determine a lot. Okay. Oh, and if you're having a horrible day, you could say, in Latin America, you'll hear horrible. Horrible. But in Spain, you'll hear fatal. And in some areas where they have more influence from Spain than from themselves, you'll hear fatal. Oh, ¿cómo estás? Fatal. Fatal. ¿Pero qué te pasa? ¿Qué pasa? What's the matter? All right. So you'll hear that. You can use those things. All right. Then, if you want to agree with someone, ¿qué pasa? Oh, estoy fatal. Then actually that person's going to say, yo también. Like if they're agreeing. Oh, what about pleased to meet you? And what's your name? ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo te llamas? Oftentimes you're going to say, ¿Cómo está usted? Because you don't know the person yet. So you're also going to use, ¿Cómo se llama usted? ¿Cómo se llama? Listen to the difference. ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo se llama? With ¿Cómo se llama, you don't know that person yet. That's formal. ¿Cómo se llama usted? So, ¿Cómo se llama? The response is, me llamo. Me llamo in your name. So if someone asks me, ¿Cómo se llama, profesora? I would say, me llamo profesora Caston. Oftentimes, my young students say, ¿Cómo se llama, profesora? Like, what's your first name? So my response is always, me llamo profesora Caston, as a reiteration that we are not on that same level. But if you're just meeting people generally and they're on your same level, they'll be like, ¿Cómo te llamas? Perdón. ¿Cómo te llamas? Like, I forgot your name. Perdón. And you'll answer, me llamo Jenny. Okay, so we have talked about how to ask questions, how to greet one another. And then also, if you want to say things like, it was really nice to meet you, you would say, mucho gusto. It's nice to meet you. Mucho gusto. And if the other person agrees, they'll say, igualmente. Sometimes you'll just hear, mucho gusto. And then the other person might say something like encantado, which means they were enchanted with your meeting. That's nice. You might hear something longer like encantada en conocerte. Un placer en conocerte. Those just mean it was awesome to meet you. It was enchanting. It was a delight to meet you. It was my pleasure to meet you. Un placer. Pleasure, my pleasure. A pleasure. Un placer. Whereas delight would come with encantado. If you're a woman, you have to say encantada. Okay. So we've learned a lot in this lesson, but that's just basic greetings in Spanish. And then to bid someone adieu. In Spain, you'll hear people say adios. But in Latin America, or you'll hear ciao. But in Latin America, the probability of you seeing each other again is high. So they're not going to just say adios, or because adios is a little stronger. So they'll say nos vemos, see you soon, nos vemos. Or hasta luego, see you later. Hasta means until, so you could add a lot of things onto that. Hasta la tarde, see you this afternoon. Hasta la noche. I wonder if you remember that one from Buenas noches. Hasta la mañana would be until, or see you in the morning. Whereas hasta mañana means see you tomorrow. We'll talk about those things. So the difference there was hasta mañana versus hasta la mañana. Hasta mañana is see you tomorrow. Hasta la mañana is see you in the morning. And then, but you can always just say ciao. Ciao is the universal word for see you later, and it is very much used outside of Italy. So feel free to use ciao to say goodbye or to see you soon. All right, so that is your introduction on greetings, and there's more to come. Ciao.